Hello everyone, I'm Paleo Parks and welcome to another episode of Primeval Sanctuary. Today, we'll be constructing 3 whole enclosures, the main one of course being the lagoon housing some Styxosaurus, Liopleurodon, and the Legendary Mosasaurus. The next 2 enclosures feature some peaceful herbivores which surround this bridge, crossing the gap between the Utahraptors and the lagoons. Hello everyone, welcome to the building segment of this video, and like I said in the intro, we will be constructing 3 separate enclosures, one of course being this massive lagoon, and the other 2 housing some nice, gentle, and peaceful herbivores. Now, I have to be honest with you, since Jurassic World Evolution 3 is coming out in practically no time, I'm going to have to double my efforts when it comes to producing videos for this series, because I've got to get this, this building series done before Evolution 3 comes out. Yeah, right now I'm just working on the guest section for the lagoon, and to be honest, you guys know me, I'm really not that good at building guest sections, so this one, it's really probably one of my best. Alright, and that's not even saying much considering how bad some of mine are, but I'm pretty proud of this one. Alright, this one's alright. Alright, the main problem with my guest sections is they're just too big sometimes. I need to really tone it down, add maybe some more amenities to fill the space. Sometimes they're just too big to fill some of the space, so that's a lesson for me to learn in the next game. Now, I have to be honest, when it comes to what's inside the lagoon, it's very boring, alright? I think we can all agree with that when it comes to every single lagoon in this game. The lagoons are boring, alright? All you have to decorate them is kelp. And even then, kelp doesn't do much, really. All it is just an obstruction of views if you place it nearby a viewing gallery or viewing stand, whatever it's called for the lagoons. So, I just really don't like lagoons, right? I prefer building with aviaries. The creatures inside the aviaries are just nicer. They're just cooler to look at. They're more majestic, right? They're prettier. It's just they're cooler, all right? And they're much less boring than actual lagoons, because in the aviaries you can place plants, rocks, all of that jazz, but you get what, an Indominus skeleton for the lagoons and like a weird shipwreck, something like that. So let's just praise Frontier really quickly for allowing modular building to be added inside of the lagoons, because otherwise the lagoons would be very boring. You can't even see through half of them anyway because the water's so murky. But whatever, let's just talk about how let's just praise Frontier. Alright, we're not going to talk about any of the bad things about this current game, because the next game is going to be on a whole new level, right? Frontier even said it was their most ambitious project. So yeah, let's just talk about this new little garden here, the circular garden that comes after this sort of pathway here. Inside of it are going to be some alpine trees, mostly alpine trees. It's really just this massive mix between Mediterranean trees, tropical trees, some rocks as well in there as well, because nothing's complete without a couple rocks. Rocks just make everything look nicer, and I add some texture paint as well just to make it more realistic, and I finish off with some tinier taiga bushes just to make it a bit more lived in. And when it comes to what's going on the side of the lagoons, I'm placing these tropical and temperate trees because I feel like those 2 sets of trees really fill the space well. When it comes to taiga doesn't really do that. They really just although I love taiga, my favorite in the game, it doesn't fill the space as much as temperate does, right? Because their trees are very bushy and temperate, and it's just really easy to like go crazy with temperate, basically. But still, I do prefer taiga. Now, I'm working on bordering the path with the multi-wall pieces, because we don't want any of our guests walking out of the path and possibly jumping out of the lagoons. I do not know why you would want to jump into the lagoon and risk drowning or being eaten by a Mosasaurus, but either way, we don't want that, so we have to add these barriers. And now we're working on these lights, okay? We gotta light this path up in case it's nighttime, so we just gotta add a bit of lights. I said lights 20 times in that sentence, but whatever, we're gonna look past that. Now we're slowly working on the next 2 herbivore enclosures. One is going to house some Stygi mollusks, and the other is going to house some Alamosaurus, my favorite sauropod in the game, aside from the Ambryosaurus, and some Parasaurolophus, which, it's kind of a overrated creature in my opinion. I don't think too highly of the Para, but in my personal opinion, my favorite trike in the game. Sorry, not trike, but not Ceratosaurus. My favorite, what do they call it? Ceratopsid in the game is going to be in this enclosure as well, and that of course is the. Oh no, I forgot its name. It's the weird gold one. It's Gold Man. Oh no, no, this isn't good. It's the. Whatever, I forgot its name, but it's the one with the cool looking frill. It's the. Oh, that's gonna piss me off. I forgot its name. No, whatever. This one's gonna be a tropical enclosure. All right, it's just cool. I guess I haven't done tropical in a while, and I'm gonna go back to my roots because I used to always build on tropical stuff, but nowadays all I build on is taiga, and it gets boring after a while. So. You know, we gotta mix it up a bit and add some tropical stuff, and the enclosure for the sticky mollusks are going to have some tropical stuff as well. And soon enough, the building segment is gonna come to an end, and we're going to move on to some cinematic shots in the outro. So, see you there. I used to be really against using long stretches of path like this because I thought it was a lazy way to go about path work, but now that I've taken the risk and have actually done it, it really isn't that bad if you decorate it the correct way. Admittedly, I could have done the guest sections better, but you guys know me, I am definitely on the lower end when it comes to building guest areas. However, I am quite proud of these enclosures, with the sticky mollusk enclosure using one of the lagoon walls as a wall for the enclosure, and I also like the borders for the bigger enclosure right next to it. It almost seems as if the enclosure is surrounded by trees even though it's literally just invisible fencing. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and wish to see more JWE2 Sandbox content and Jurassic World Evolution 3 news, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day, and see you next time.
Was the established